Hi, so this is my first time in front of the camera in a few weeks. It's disguised as much as I can by makeup, but as you can see, pretty sore at the moment with a big eczema outbreak. Never had eczema before, so it's made me very self-conscious, so do bear with me. So first video tonight, yeah, I'm going to do quite a few videos tonight. I'm going to be looking at a comic that's not been printed in 40 years. So they brought back Scream, hopefully for more than just the one shot, but this is the 40th anniversary celebration. So it's Scream 40 Years of Terror. Beautiful cover by Danny, and it features the writing of Alex Packnadell, who's a really top-rate writer, and Torrin Grombeck, who's making waves. She's doing Catwoman at the moment, which I highly recommend. And who are the other writers? George Pooley and Anna Redman on another story, and VV Glass on another. Now it's $5.99. It's bigger than an American comic, so it's the size of a Judge Dredd magazine. It's £5.99, but you get 64 pages in it. Can't complain at that. And they're all brand new stories. And there's been a lot of horror anthologies recently, and for my money, this is one of the best that they've brought out recently. Reason being, one, 64 pages, and they allow the stories to breathe. So, for example, the first story is Dracula File, Homo Caesar, written by Alex Packnadell, and it's 20 page story, so you get a full story there. 13th Floor is by Torrin Grombeck, art by Emily Schnall, and that one is, again, just shy of 20 pages. And then you have And His Skin Is Cold by George Pooley and Anna Redman, really great art by Anna Redman. And that one is about 16 pages, and then there's a 6-page final one by VV Glass, who does the art as well. Oh, the art on the Dracula File is Alejandro Aragon. So I've read half of it, I've still got to finish it off, but the two stories I've read so far, love them, absolutely love them. So the first story is Dracula File, Homo Caesar, written by Alex Packnadell, who's done a lot of work for Marvel and DC and Image. He did a really good Image comic illustrated by Casper Wingard, but I've forgotten the name of it. Against All Odds or something. But he's in the same writing group as Ram Visa and Dan Waters, so he's up there in quality. And this is a gorgeous spin on the Dracula mythology, and it's a natural evolution on the Dracula Files from the old Scream comic. What I've read in an interview in the Judge Dredd magazine about this new Scream special, is that they wanted to do the comic. They wanted the comic to age with the readers. So where the readers were like 10, 11, 12 when it first came out, they're now people in the 50s, 40s. So they wanted to bring out a good quality horror comic for adults, and this is what they've done. And the first story, what I like about it, there's this book series in the 80s and 70s, I think. I forgot what the writer was, but it was basically like Dracula, but like a spy thriller as well. And that's what they've done. So basically, Dracula, the government knows about him, and he's kind of like got carte blanche, because they want to use his powers for secret missions. So he works for MI5. He made a deal with MI5. They'll use his powers to do his jobs for them, as long as he can have victims to feed on. So they said, yeah, as long as they're undesirables, go ahead. So it's like mutual loathing between both camps, but he's got carte blanche to carry on eating, and they'll turn a blind eye. And this policewoman investigates, and she gets too close. And the only person she can turn to is a reporter who's been investigating strange disappearances which are all tied into Dracula. And I don't want to tell you anymore because it'll ruin the plot. It's a really strong story. It's 20 pages, but it felt like reading a full graphic novel. Alex Packnadell fits a lot in, and his descriptive writing is so good, and the artwork is just beautiful. It's got a nice edge to it, but very clear and understated. Some panels are almost like a Bill Sienkiewicz kind of style. Sienkiewicz, like that panel there. Very satisfying story. I thought there's only so much you could do with Dracula as a horror trope, but they've managed to make it really original and fun. And talking of original and fun, the 13th Floor was kind of like, there's a film on Netflix at the moment called Margot, where it's about this automated house, and this is like that's like this premise, but first of all, it's on a much grander scale. Basically, Max runs a whole big building. It's all automatically run by this supercomputer who's Max, and he looks after his tenants. When I say look after them, he really looks after them. So this is written by Torren Grombeck, and the art is by Emily Chanel. The artwork's okay. It's not as good as the first story, but it works for this story because it gives this sense of innocence, and then it kind of like lures you into this false feel, this safe feeling, and then kind of like rips your eyelids off, and you go, oh. And yeah, it's got a really nice kind of like Twilight Zone-y feel to it. Again, Max he's basically an evil building, but you kind of like Max because he protects his tenants, and the people who get killed in very inventive ways are scum. You know, they're like wife beaters, molesters, you name it, whatever. Like people you don't want to know. And so you kind of like cheering on for Max to like do away with these people who are terrorising the tenants. So there's kind of like quite a few shocks on the pages, and again, a really really fun story. I've not read the last two stories, but the artwork on the third story looks so nice. This is written by George Pulley and also the artist Anna Redman, and this called And His Skin Is Cold. It looks like it's a story about a rock singer. It looks like it makes some kind of deal, or there's something going on here. He's got some kind of supernatural power. And when they say they wanted to make it for adults, they weren't joking. So, me myself have been raving over the recent EC comics, but they're tame in comparison to the art in this. There's a lot going on in this. Won't show the final page because it does show quite a bit of the big plot twist at the end. And the final story is a 6-pager called Inverted Burial, written and illustrated by VV Glass. Not familiar with them, but the art is so beautiful. So it looks like this is an underground one. But out of all the horror anthologies I've seen this year, this is very, very high up there, if not my favourite. It could actually be my favourite one. I've just not read the last two stories to really give that kind of rating, but you can get this on 2000ad.com, and if you're in the UK, WH Smith's, or ask your news agent to order it for you, and your local comic shops. Really, really satisfactory. $5.99, 64 pages. Very, very good deal. So yeah, so that's my review of Scream. I did do a review. If you want to look at my video collection, I've done an overview of the Scream big hardback, which collected all the 14 and 15 issues that they released before it got banned. So I do recommend you look at that if you fancy buying that, because there's now a new printing of it, which will make a great Christmas or birthday present. So yeah, so that's my first video, and I shall be doing some more. Bye.